Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of Skating Unfiltered with Jazzy Foster and Coach Jeff. Sorry it's been a while, but the Foster house has been very busy with knee rehab and school, internship. How is that internship going?
It's going really well. I kind of, am working on the digital marketing side with the social media, and I'm really liking a lot. I have goals set for myself to hopefully achieve by the end of my internship. And, I'll probably still be helping out even after, American Championships, because there are some things that I, want to do to help promote the sport and the athletes. I have some ideas, I think, for the finals or the dates of finals and then the race champion. So
I know you show me some things, and they're pretty cool, and the quality of some of the videos are really good, and I think you're getting the word out, and I think that's what we really need to see, just promoting not so much inside skating, because we all know about it, but trying to get the word out outside the sport to bring more people in.
Yeah, if you want to follow the TikTok that I created for U.S. roller speed skating, it is just U.S. roller speed skating. I'll put it down here. You can follow that if you have videos that you would want posted on there as part as being the members and promoting the membership as well. You can send them to me or probably through Facebook page as well.
Well, that's good. Well, today's show we were going to talk about
one more thing. Announcement. There is a scholarship for U.S. roller speed skating. It's the roller skating athlete scholarship application. I believe the deadline is March 31st. The application is on either USRSS or US Roller Speed Skating Facebook page for that.
Okay.
There you go.
So both organizations now have scholarships opportunities, correct?
Yeah, I don't remember the full details.
I think USA Roller Sports announced theirs.
They announced the recipients of it for this year. This one will be announced later. I'll look it up while you talk.
Well, it's pretty good. Well, believe it or not, a lot of people, when I go to meets, they ask, well, Jeff, how do you stay so informed about what's going on in the sport and, how the changes that are coming up? And it's pretty, I hate to say it's pretty easy. I go to the website, if I want to look up finances, it's real easy to, USA Roller Sports is a nonprofit, and they have to, make all their tax information, financial information public, and you can pretty much read it. And there's a lot of misinformation that the membership has. You'll hear people, "Oh, we're broke." USA Roller Sports is not broke. They're not broke by any way means. They've got some financial setbacks. COVID was really it hurt everybody. I don't care where you are with whatever organization you're in. USA Roller Sports puts out a 990. You can go to the website. You can type in 990, and you can look up their financials from the present all the way back. I think I was looking today. It was 2014. Now, because of COVID, they did put for 2020, I think they put an extension for 2021. That doesn't mean they're doing anything wrong. It just means that because of COVID, they had to restructure and do a lot of things to to get everything in. The COVID really hurt both. It hurt skating altogether. It just did.
It hurt every sport.
It hurt every sport. So, you can't really get a good financial bearing on where things are, you probably won't be able to get one probably till maybe next year. Some examples before COVID-19, the contributions were $600,000. When we were in COVID, only $512,000. The program revenue before COVID-19 was $483,000. Afterwards was $43,000. Interest on their investments and everything, it goes down. COVID's bad. The bottom line is, in that COVID era, we lost almost $90,000. But things are turning around. There is a competition going on between both organizations. A week ago, I looked at the memberships, and it's interesting. On the USA Roller Sports side, there's almost about 1,000 members. When you look in,
only half. It's like a little bit more than half is full-time membership, that can compete at nationals.
But now all those people that are at the limited membership
can switch over. So that's a potential. Mm-hmm.
And what's really surprising is the Star Skate and I think it's U4 and up, and the other memberships, that is not doing as well as I would have thought that they would have been doing, specifically because of the investment they put into it. There's only like about 30 Star when I looked at it, and that is, and we need to do something about that. When we changed the membership structure, I was very vocal and very much against it because I thought it really hurt us. Right now, actually, USRSS has 600 members that can skate a national event, and we are at
American Championship.
Well, I say national event. That's our national. So, and we were at about, I think in USA Roller Sports is about 530.
Yeah, you can then that information because my mom put that all together.
Yeah, we were looking that up. Now, the funny thing is, if we would not have, when we changed the structure and went from 90, and I think it was 45, and it was 10. I think now it's 90, 50, and I think it's 15. I
think it's 85, actually, for the membership. I think it's 85.
I thought it was... Well, maybe it is.
Maybe after the, all the fees and stuff, it's 90.
Yeah, I think that I thought that we shouldn't have changed... I thought it was a mistake for USA Roller Sports to change their membership until they found out if there was a need for it. Because once they changed that membership, for example, you have 516 full-time members and you have 354 unlimited members. That was a $14,000 revenue loss for the organization. And the only reason I said that is because I think USA Roller Sports, when they did that, I think they possibly may have devalued their product. But that is just my opinion. I'm sure there are people on the board that say, no, that's not what we did, and that's fine. I would have waited to see if the impact was actually happening, and then I would have reacted to it and said maybe we can give a discount at nationals off of your entry. If you skate nationals, that difference between the two organizations we could give off, give back.
You know what that's called?
What's that called?
You know what you normally do when that happens? It's a SWOT analysis and a competition analysis. I think that is. I probably have completely wrong from when I had to learn it. But you learn what strengths or weaknesses you have against your competition in those ways.
Yeah, well, the bottom line is in 2019, between, if you look at their tax returns, their I think their amateur car fees were $312,000, In 2020, they were $440,000. But the interesting thing is in 2016, before all this started, with almost the same membership numbers, it was 750K. So that is...
what is USA Roller Sports? The thing is, it's like 50 for membership?
No. Oh, USA Roller Sports, I believe, is $890.
US.
Oh, US. I'm not sure. I think it's 45. I don't know, 45 or 50. And that's fine.
So long ago, I don't remember.
Competition is good, and it's relative. But also inside of this, USA Roller Sports does do some very good things. They get funding. For instance, they get like the clinic that's coming up. They get funding from the USOPC because people ask, well, where's that coming from? And I think it's important to know that USA Roller Sports does get funding. And for instance, the clinic that I don't know for sure, but I would guess looking that funding from the USOPC, the AAU goes into clinics because there is money set aside for that. Mm-hmm. Okay, what hurt, of course, both organizations is because they were not allowed to have a national championships, and that is a big revenue driver. And if you look at the financials, because not only USA Roller Sports has they put out their tax forms, they also have what they call a independent auditor's report, and they do this every year. So a lot of people say, well, they're doing this or hide money. No, there's an audit's report, and it is purchased every year, and that is also on the web page, and it's done by a company called Thomas. It's Kunk. Is that Kunk and Black?
LLP. I don't know.
LLP, and they go, and that is even easier to read, and they compare the year before and the year prior and the current year. And we make, depending on how our nationals are, we can make the revenues from nationals from all the proceeds could be $400,000 to $600,000, which of course we didn't have, and neither did the other organization. Now, when I looked, you might say, "Well, you're not saying anything about the other organization." I did look, and to be honest, I think the difference is because USA Roller Sports has to adhere under certain rules because of the USOPC.
I said that.
Okay, you might have said that, but I looked it up too. I think that the USRSS is not at that point yet. But I do know if you are a nonprofit, if you were to walk up to their office and say, "Hey, I want to see your records," they'd have to show them to you.
They do have them out there. It's just
they do have them out there. I think it's a little different. Just like USA Roller Sports has to do the whole Safe Sport thing, and the other organization is just they're starting to do it. They're just doing with referees and officials and all that kind of stuff. Background checks.
Background checks.
So I think that I just want to make sure that everybody knows that this information is out there. Also, your committee minutes. Now, we're only focused on speed because that's all I really focus on. But the speed committee, they put out minutes, and you can go, when people say, well, how did this happen? I say, well, do you go to the website? And I always encouraging people to go to both websites so you can see what's going on, because the whole purpose of having a website is to have traffic to go to the website so you can find out information, answer your own questions. I know sometimes the websites are a little cumbersome, but if you keep going there, I go there all the time. I can find the minutes, the governance in both organizations, who's the president, who's the vice president. I'm not going to mention any names of both organizations, who's in charge of this and who's in charge of that. And I think that the competition is making everybody be accountable. When one person's just they can kind of do whatever they want. But I think because both organizations are working for your business, it makes everybody accountable. So I think that's kind of what I want. I didn't want to really delve in too much because it can be kind of boring. But I know some people will pull me to the side, and I'll go on my phone and say, "Hey, this is," and they're like, "Oh, I didn't even know that you could see that." And nobody's been hiding anything. It's been out there for years. It's been out there for years, and you can see whatever you want. Like this clinic that is happening in Florida. I don't know for sure because I'm not on the speak committee, but I would venture to say that they got funding to put on the clinic because there is funding in USA Roller Sports for these types of things. Now, hopefully, they got about 50 people coming, and they got about 100 people doing the race. So hopefully they break even, and that would be really, really good. If they were to lose money, that it wouldn't be the end of the world. But as the USOPC is pushing the committee-based basis of running the organization, I believe 5 years from now that speed skating will have to come up with a physical budget for the year, and they'll have to stick to that budget, and they'll have to be responsible for that budget. And I think that the office will be just an administrative entity. And I think basically what they're going to say, listen, whoever's the president of speed, hey, this is how much it costs to run your organization. You owe us this much money. And that's going to be there's going to be some growing pains because, we're not used to doing that. We're used to just, hey, we want to come up with this program and everybody thinks it's a good idea. But now we're going to have to come up with a financial plan that says, okay, we'll give you this money, but you got to prove to us that we're going to get our money back. So, do you have anything to add?
No, I'm just going to go on to the next topic with that.
Okay, yeah, because I didn't want to put a whole lot of time on that, but that's a lot of people ask about that, especially when I'm, because I do look at that kind of stuff, and a lot of people ask about it, so I just wanted to put that out there, and hopefully we don't have to talk about it for a long time.
Okay, on to the next topic, because we were talking about the clinic. You said there were about 120 for the race. I think you said like 50 for the clinic. And so it starts on March 16th. We have orientation, I believe, for the national team and the level 2 people on those two groups. And then March 17th, I think it's actually the national team. Everybody's going to be there, but it's the national team and level 2, I think, for classes and training. And I think orientation is for level 1. And I believe masters, I think they have that. And then March 18th, 19th is all levels, I think, training, learning a bunch of stuff, and then racing. And every day it's going to be, I think, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. is what they said for it. And there are some things that you need to have for the clinic. So some things to keep in mind to bring, of course, your skates, your wheels, your helmet. They do suggest heart rate monitor, like maybe if you have an Apple Watch, you can just use that. Always have your uniform, safety gear for skating if you need it, your tools to change your wheels, fix your frames. They say folding chair, towels to sit on, tent if you have a bigger group of people. Bring your workout shoes, clothes, water for hydration, to hydrate. Bring a personal first aid kit. I do believe they'll have first aid people.
Yeah, I think I saw they were going to provide that.
And snacks, a paper and pen, because we're writing stuff down, and sunscreen so you don't get burnt.
Yeah, I'll get burnt really bad.
I'll be quiet. Personally, my goals, I want to get out of this clinic. Training is a big thing, but one of the biggest things is just to get on the track. There are people saying, well, we didn't have a track to skate on. We did a lot of our stuff indoors. It is a different time because every country has a bunch of tracks where they are compared to, what we have, and I know it's not the exact same track that you'll skate on for Worlds, in the manner, or possibly even World Games, since World Games got moved to a different location for track and road. It's not where it said it was going to be, which we're still trying to figure that one out. For me personally, it's to get on the track, put some good laps in on that track, and we'll see what happens during race day.
Well, the one positive thing is that we're talking about building tracks. Chris down there in Orlando is talking about building a track. Dave is talking about building a track.
Dave has been trying to get that for a while because he was going to build his house and then the track, and I think right behind it, the rink. But there's been some issues lately.
Well, the thing of it is, as good as people are actually talking about building a track. And that is a positive.
Maybe we should start a fund just to build some tracks around the country.
Well, I don't know. It'd be nice to talk to Chris or Dave because, they obviously are in the planning stages, so they have some kind of cost to say, well, how much does it cost to actually build a track? And where would you build a track? These two tracks are on the East Coast. So, when you asked me about fundraising, I said, well, the biggest detraction would be, well, where are you going to build it? If you build all the tracks on the East Coast...
Well, you build it where most of your, I would think your membership is.
Is that true? Or why wouldn't you build it where there isn't membership to attract people to come to the sport to skate? I mean, my personal thing is, okay, right, you could build them on the East Coast, and that'd be good.
I'm not saying build them on the East Coast. Like, hey, if you have one in, Tennessee or Texas, if you have one in Florida, if you have one in Pennsylvania, do you think, and I know there's some people that skate in California, but do you think it would make sense? Would you rather put one in Texas, or would you put one in California?
Well, that depends. What your goal is. If you're trying to spread skating out, and let's say California's not they don't have a good representation, but putting a track there may improve that, or it might be a waste of time. Mm-hmm. I really don't know.
My thing is thinking about it, the goal is to, have easier accessibility to these tracks around the country. So if there is one in Florida and you have one in Texas, then, instead of doing the 400-meter road course, you have that track. It's more accessible than those people in Texas have one, and, people don't have to drive as far. But, if you have one, and even if you have in, North Carolina or Virginia, there's a meeting point for everybody to go to.
Well, I think the other thing is, wherever you build a track, you have to have a committed group of people that are, number one, going to run races there and promote skating. We promote the ESS race. We put that race on. We promote skating in our area on a road course in our area. So if you're going to build a track, you have to have a commitment from a group of people that are going to put races on a regular basis. Because if you just have a track and only 20, 50 people train on it, that's just going to make it's not a good investment. You got to have races, and you got to promote it. And I think that that is going to be the obstacle. That's going to be the task that we have to do.
Well, then you think of it this way: where are most of the outdoor races right now?
Well, most of the outdoor races are
it's from mid to east mostly.
Well, yeah, they're basically from in the Midwest and on the East Coast, and a lot are in Florida. Now, I think that was a lot because of COVID. I think when COVID came in, Florida was wide open and people could go down there and race. But I do think as COVID is going away, Other races are starting to pop up, and I don't think you're going to see the numbers that you were seeing, excuse me, in those areas because they had a captive audience. If you wanted to race, you had to go to Florida to race because that's the only place that you could race. Now you can race in Texas, you can race in Indiana. Mm-hmm. You can race in. Jimmy had a race in. Where was that race? In South Carolina, I think it was just last week.
It was Georgia.
Georgia. Mm-hmm. Okay, you can race anywhere.
And that's what I'm saying.
Race in New York City. Fran's going to have his race up there. I'm pretty sure. So everything's kind of opening up. But so you're going to have races all over the place.
That's what you said, to have someone who is committed to put on races there. But with that, you have to have that membership around. You can have someone who's committed to putting a race on all the time. But if it's 12 hours a race, 12 hours away, some people may not want to go to the race, even if there's a race closer, but it's not on a bank track. You have to find, in that way, the membership where it is. So, like, let's say someone built a track in Indiana and Chris Keyser puts a race all the time on that track. That would be a good investment with it because he has a lot of skaters out there, Indiana, Illinois, with that, and it would work.
Well, I think...
And the same could go if you did it with, like, you put it halfway in between South Carolina, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, New York with that.
I think that if you're going to... There's got to be a coordination. You know, right now, we have a lot of independent people putting on races. Some are with the USRSS, some are with USA Roller Sports, some are truly independent. They're getting their own insurance and they're doing their own thing. Somewhere along the line, the revenue stream has to go through one or two organizations. You know, it really, if they're running races in a certain part of the country and neither organization is benefiting from that revenue, no dollars are going through USRSS and no dollars are going through USA Roller Sports, that is not going to, number one, build revenue for the organization. Is not going to be able to help Team USA or either championship. That money needs to come back and be funneled through either organization. And of course, you know, my end goal is that they all end up talking and get back together again. But that might be a pipe dream. But
but then you still have American Championship and National.
Well,
I really do like American Championship.
I don't know why you can't in other sports. For golf, for instance, you have all kinds of golf championships all around the country. I don't know why one.
So do you think then you have to spread it out a little bit more?
Well,
I think you should all keep it June, July, August, September, October.
Well, I think that's where people, I think unselfish minds have to get together and say, listen, I look at speed skating as an industry. I look at it from the coach's point of view, from a revenue stream. I look at it for the vendor as a revenue stream, the rink as a revenue stream, the organization, no matter which one it is, as a revenue stream. And I think that we're not looking at it that way. If inline speed skating was a $50 million business, we wouldn't be having any of these problems. We wouldn't be worrying about funding Team USA. We wouldn't worry about funding anything. We would not be doing that. But because we're not looking at the big picture, and this is just Jeff Foster's opinion.
Yeah, it's just his opinion.
It's not, it's just my opinion. Because we're not looking at the big picture, and we're so in looking at our own individual places and our statue that we're not looking forward. And that's just me. You know, when vendors sit there and go, well, I don't like that vendor because they're selling this. I said, you know, if we had 10,000 skaters, vendors they wouldn't know what to do with themselves. But we have less than 1,000 speed skaters. And that's why we're at each other's throats, especially, in the vendor business. I don't care what it is. If you're uniforms, boots, frames, whatever. The market is so small. If we could expand the market and get more people, because we advertise to people in the sport.
You have to rephrase that. The market is smaller in the U.S., not as much as the rest of the world.
Yes, you are correct. You are correct. It is smaller in the U.S. But my point is, if we expand, we don't need to advertise to the skaters we have. We need to bring more people in. That's why in the beginning of the video I talked about membership. That should be our number one priority. I don't care if you USRSS or USA Roller Sports. We have to get more people interested in the sport. We have to go outside of our membership to promote. We're promoting within our membership, which is fine. That's good. But we're already here. We need to promote new people to come in and check it out, maybe get a membership, maybe buy some skates, maybe try it out, maybe they only try it for 2 or 3 years, whatever. But we need to get new blood in the sport. And I don't think we're doing that. The STAR program, I thought that was going to do that. It's apparent by the numbers that's not working, so we need to relook at that. We need to look at that and say, did those investment dollars that we put in that, was that a good thing? And if it wasn't, that's okay. It was a try. Let's look at what we did right there and change it to what we can to maybe do something better. What we did wrong there, and change it over to what we did right, to do something right. So I think that we just got to start looking outside the box, because I think the sport is a fantastic sport. It's exciting. Every time I show people about it, they're like, wow, I never even heard of it. And I think that's the key. Nobody has heard of it. And if we can get over that and get people, you're doing your internship, and there's, Mr. Rogers out there. But I think, like, even Mr. Rogers, that's got to go past. Let's bring other people in here. Let's bring other people that don't know what speed skating is. I mean, you can go find out where every meet is. You can find out. I mean, everybody that's skating, I don't know how you can't know what's going on, because it's that's all you got to do is just go to USA Roller Sports, go to USRSS, go to Mr. Rogers, go to inline skating. You can find out where every race is. But we need to expand our audience, and we haven't done that. That's just my opinion.
Speaking of another races coming up, there was a race May 7th through 8th with practice on the 6th at Christiana Skating Center. It is the Delaware Spring Invitational. We have 2 main sponsors right now, which is Pinnacle Racing, which is here, and then Eastern Skating Supply. If you haven't seen, there's going to be 2 Race of Champions. There's going to be one for the ages 8 to 13, and then the other one for 14 plus. For 8 to 13, the winner can choose between getting a semi-custom boot from Pinnacle Racing, or I believe it's $750, and then second and third, the prize.
I think it's $1,000.
No. 8 to 13,
$750. Yeah, that's correct.
And second and third, the prizes will be determined by Eastern Skate Supply. And then for the 14 plus, which my dad was saying, it's either a full custom Pinnacle or $1,000. You get to choose between those 2. And then second and third, again, is prizes will be determined by Eastern Skate Supply. So shout out to both those sponsors for this event. And if you would like to sponsor the event, you could message the Facebook page. It's just Delaware Spring Invitational, and they'll get back to you on that.
And we definitely want to do this, because we have not had an invitational in that part of the country for a very long time, and we're trying to promote skating in that part of the country, because we travel. Anybody that knows people from our region, we go to Florida, we go to North Carolina, we go to Kentucky, we go to all those meets, and we're just trying to get people to say, hey, can we have a meet up here somewhere? So we're hoping to get a lot of support, and we're hoping that
if all goes well, this will continue for many years on after the fact, having this invitational.
And that's what we're just trying to do. Just like we did with the outdoor racing, having outdoor racing up in this area. Not that, we're not trying to really compete, but some people, like you said earlier, they can't drive 12 hours, or they just can't do it. And, just keep people interested. And we're hoping, we've gotten a lot of inquiries. They want to know what it's about. And, for our region, even if our region supported it 100%, it would be a success. And we hope other people come. We go out to Indiana. We go out there to skate. We went to Kentucky.
That's a little far for them, too, because that's like all the way back.
Yeah, but, the thing about it is, we went to Kentucky. We went to Indiana. We go to Florida. We go to North Carolina. And I think it's time for those folks to return the favor, because that's how it works.
North Carolina's closer. There wasn't as much of us that went to Kentucky. I still went. I really like Kentucky.
No, we're not trying to say everybody got to come in 100%, but 2 or 3 show up from Piedmont, High Point. And that would be good.
It is a US roller speed skating event, by the way.
Yeah, and
so it'll be on that track.
And you can get an event card if you have a USA Roller Sports amateur card. Is it 10 or 15?
I'm not answering that because I don't know that.
I don't know either, but they do
I'm
have.
Not answering that.
They do have an event card, so it's not like you got to join 2 organizations or anything like that. So, and they do have, I believe. Don't quote me. I think. What's the entry? Is it a cap? It's a cap. I think it's 100, and then I think it's 150 for a family, and that is helpful also.
Yeah, 40 for the first pen, 50 for additional, and it's $100 cap.
And then it's
15 for each additional.
But it's for a family. It's.
I don't have that information.
Yeah, I think it's 150 for a family. I think that's what our. So we're trying to do our best here to try to bring skating back, and just get people going in circles and racing each other. So hopefully.
Going in circles.
Nothing.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Hopefully that will be helpful.
You do a lot more than just go in circles, but okay.
I said go in circles and race.
Okay.
I did say race.
You don't make it sound cool. You just say going in circles.
Well, I'm just saying we're just trying, and we're economically trying to help out people, in our area of the country, because we do travel a lot. We're going to Orlando. We're going to the clinic, and then we're going to come home for a couple weeks, and then we're going to go back to Orlando and skate down there. And then we're gonna go all over the place, and
Yeah, I think there's gonna be some more surprising faces that I heard that are going to be in Orlando. I'm not gonna say because it's not 100%, but from what I've heard, there's gonna be even a lot more. I think it's gonna be really exciting racing.
Yeah, hopefully it's gonna be really, really good.
I'm excited just to see also because it's a mix of the newer skaters coming up. And the ones that are like you always looked up to, and now you're just gonna race them. I don't want to say the older generation because they're not really the older generation.
Wait, watch yourself.
That's why I just said. That's why I'm not gonna say that because they're not. It's like it's the skaters you looked up to, and now you're going to race. It's I can't wait. I think it's gonna be really exciting on that. Along with, a lot of world champions coming to skate as well for that.
Well, they said they're having a lot of people coming from across the pond, a lot of people coming from down south, and it should be some good racing. Also, the Atlanta Lincoln's that weekend, too. There's going to be some good racing up there. I just think that I think people want to get back to racing, and we need to get back to building our clubs back up. We need to get back to getting coaches more involved. I know that a lot of people ask me about coaching all the time and how I stayed in so long. And I did put a post out there, which some people totally, I don't know if they didn't understand it or whatever. Uh, I don't think you could make a quote unquote living being a speed coach, but I do think you can enhance your lifestyle and also, plan for your future. And I think we need to tell people how they can be a successful coach. I don't think we do that. We haven't had a coaches seminars as far as...
That's where the whole World Skate stuff comes in, because they do. I get those bulletins and everything on that, so I
understand that, but they need to know how to negotiate with the rink, negotiate time with the rink.
How did we get on this topic? We were just talking about a race, and now we went to coaches making a living.
I don't know. We were just talking. I mean, if you want me to stop talking about it, I'll just stop talking about it.
I'm just confused on how we got on the topic.
I don't know.
It was
we were talking about bringing skating back to certain parts of the country and what we need to do, and we just got off on a tangent.
I must have missed something. I'm definitely really tired and still tired from my workout, but.
Well, tired from your workout, tired from school, because you're on break now, right?
Technically, but I technically don't get a spring break.
Well, then, I thought you did get a spring break.
No, I do, because I asked off, but normally we would not. I still work half the week.
Oh, you get a spring break from college.
Yes.
But from your internship work-wise, you don't get a break.
Yeah.
Well, you put in for a vacation or something.
I did.
Oh, did you get paid?
What?
Do you get paid vacation?
Be quiet.
Oh, you don't get paid vacation? Man.
Oh, my goodness.
I was just wondering, if you put time off.
No, we're going to end this now before it gets even worse. But I do want to make a couple more announcements. With it, I talked about a scholarship earlier. In this video, the deadline's March 31st, and the winner will be announced in May. First for that. Also, a lot of people have been messaging about TLTF for the wheels. They're coming soon because there have been so many inquiries about getting not only the indoor wheels, but the outdoor wheels, which I can
Outdoors coming.
Outdoor wheels, there's just so much going on that side of things and testing. I absolutely cannot wait for those wheels as well. And so we are trying our absolute best to get all the wheels that I know they will be done in time for the Orlando Classic and Land of Lincoln as well. So they're coming soon. Please be patient with us for it, and we will get that. Also, I will not be posting on my YouTube page for Emerald Coast Part 2 because I have really not had the time, and it's been way too far past the day to really post. If you do want to watch any of my races, you can go to Todd Lyon's YouTube page. He's all the races from the Emerald Coast Challenge, Inline Challenge, and you can watch it on there. I mean, you don't really need to see me talking about how I feel and how skating's going. There's that. And who did you want to do a shout out to for your physical therapist?
I want to do a shout out.
They can't see that.
Well, it doesn't matter. Corey Fox from Taylor Physical Therapy in the Shillington, the Shelbourne Square shopping center.
Is that where Red Nurse is?
Yep. This man is kicking my butt. I mean, I go there and I'm at 90 degrees on my knee bend, and I got to go there Monday. And I hate going there because he just whoops me. I just want to come home and go to sleep. But they do an excellent job, and I'm 3 weeks. What's that? Post surgery? Yes. Yeah. 3 weeks post surgery.
Has it only been 3 weeks?
I know. It seems like it's been a year for you, right?
I mean, if you want to go there.
Yeah, it is tough because you can't do that much. I've watched everything on Amazon Prime. I watched everything on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, you discovered we have ESPN Plus.
Netflix. I've watched everything, and then I do my little exercises every day. But shout out to Corey Fox. He's really helping me out. And we talk about skating, and I show him all kinds of pictures, and videos. And he really thinks it's kind of cool, and which goes back to we just got to get the word out about our sport. I'm telling you, we just got to get the word out because I've never shown it to anybody and somebody say, "Well, that's just stupid." I've never
had that.
I've never ever seen. I've never had that.
Although there are people that are like,
I've never had that reaction. So I think the more people we, expose our sport to. It's and it doesn't matter what organization expose it to. They just think it's the coolest thing.
Expose it in a cool way. I do remember going back to one of the podcasts for NSC. They were talking about how we not represent, but how we show our sport, showing in a really cool way. We do this, and it's it's hard. People think it's easy, but once they try to do it, it's definitely not the same thing.
Yeah. So like I said, I think you said you want to wrap it up.
Yes. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment down below. I know we didn't get to any comments. This time, some of the comments were kind of duplicates from before that we have covered. We'll cover it in the next video. But again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you guys later. Bye.